Welcome to the Community Difference Frisco, powered by the Difference Media LLC, and hosted by Brian Poduska with Real Property Management, and also sponsored by Jax Kreider with PBJ Mortgage, Lauren Gill with My Live Love Travel, Debbie Watson with Abracadabra, Bethany Rowan with the B. Rowan Realty Group, Liliana Aranda with Window Hero, Eric Buchanan with Goosehead Insurance, Meena Singh, college counselor and prep coach. The Community Difference Frisco was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals. So sit back and relax as our host, co-host, and their guests share inspirational stories, experiences, thoughts, and insights about being professional, along with the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in very special ways. Because a Community Difference Frisco starts now.
Well, good afternoon, Frisco, and welcome to the Community Difference Frisco. We're a podcast firmly rooted at the intersection of business development and community involvement. I'm your host, Brian Poduska. I am the owner of Real Property Management Focus, where we focus on your real estate investments throughout DFW and, of course, right here in Frisco as well. I'm a Frisco resident, and my business is headquartered in Frisco. If you haven't seen our show before, you've missed out. We are on episode number 70, so you've missed 69 episodes if you haven't seen one yet. But welcome to episode 70. We are a live podcast, so what you see is what you're going to get, which means we're authentic, right? What this podcast is all about is we put the spotlight on community leaders. And by that, I mean one of 5 different types of folks. That would be business owners, entrepreneurs, community leaders, think committee members, city council members, things like that, Frisco ISD leaders, nonprofit leadership, and then sports leadership. We are Sports City USA, after all, here in Frisco. We also have a rotating business topic that we talk about. It changes every month. We are in May, and the topic in May is the secrets to creating content that gets results. So we're going to dive into that with our co-host and guest today. Get some insights on that topic, learn what she and they have done to be successful in that realm. We also have rotating co-hosts. So joining me on her off week, I guess I could say, normally she's in week 1, but she is in week 3, Miss Bethany Rowan, and I'm going to give her a little heads up here. So she can name that tune in 2 notes, sell a house faster than you can sip a sangria margarita, and still laugh about falling downstairs after winning an award. Meet Bethany Rowan of B. Rowan Realty with a knack for turning even the most unexpected moments into memorable content. She knows exactly how to create stories that stick. If you're looking to turn your everyday into engagement gold, Bethany is your woman. Let's bring her on and say hello.
Hello, Brian. Good to see you.
Hi,
I feel
Bethany.
so awkward. I'm not, my dynamic duo partner is not here today, so I feel a little strange today.
You're the dynamic Uno today.
That's exactly right. So, but I'm happy.
We can be the new dynamic duo. You and I.
We are absolutely the dynamic duo together when my girl Lauren and I have to switch weeks. So, which doesn't happen very often, but every now and then it does. So I'm glad to be here and looking forward to our guest today on the show.
Well, good thing you mentioned that, because I too am looking forward to spending some time with your guest. I will let you do the honors of bringing her on. So let's say hello to her. Go for it.
Okay. I've had the opportunity to meet Brooklyn Calloway, who has an amazing story, also comes from education like me. So I think that's kind of fun. But she's a Guinness World Record holder, a donut innovator, and a social media powerhouse. Meet Brooklyn Calloway, the creative force behind Next Chapter Social. Whether she is boiling cheese on Krispy Kremes, I can't wait to hear about that, or crafting content that stops you're scrolling right away. Brooklyn knows how to turn bold moves into a dream big and gets clicks. She gets the job done, and she is the girl to go to. So let's welcome Brooklyn.
Hi.
Hi, Brooklyn. All right, so we got to hear about this boiling cheese on Krispy Kremes. Tell us more about this.
Yes.
Well, I did say that sort of broiling. The word is broiling, not boiling. But there's, I'm like,
same thing,
wow,
right?
that would be strange.
For
But
us non-cooking people, isn't that the same thing?
No. But when I was younger, my dad, he's a foodie. And so we always used to stay up late and we would eat like different treats he would make. And in the morning, sometimes he would go to Shipley's or Krispy Kreme or whatever and get a glazed donut and put American cheese on top and broil it in the oven till it was bubbly and almost a little brown, just a little. The glazed donut with American cheese. Now I'm 45. I probably haven't had that, in 20 years, but it is something strange that is very delicious, and y'all should not knock it until you try it. So y'all all know run out.
That's a good salty sweet treat. Brian always asks us if we would give up salt or sweet. In that situation, you can't give up either.
No, that you kind of stuck there. But since you asked the question, Bethany, Brooklyn, gun to your head, you have to give up sugar or give up salt. Which one would it be?
Sugar.
Sugar.
Okay.
I'm a savory girl. As long as there are crab legs involved, I'm there.
Yes. I knew you were my girl. I love me some crab legs. I will beat those things up. I love them.
Yeah, let's go. We won't tell anyone else, but we'll just bring a pocket full of cash and we'll go eat.
Absolutely. My husband's
all right,
like, before
you guys get going on your foodie stuff here, I've got to ask Brooklyn a question. She is kind of miss downtown Frisco. You live in Frisco. You are very involved downtown. Question for you: what's your favorite part about Frisco? Living in Frisco?
Well, my favorite part is kind of not fair to everyone else because I live in or at the best property in all of Frisco. I really believe that because I am smack dab in the middle of downtown. I've got the character of a 125-year-old house, and I can literally walk to all of our businesses within 45 seconds to a minute. So I don't deal with any of the traffic because I don't have to get out on the road. I stay on my compound. And my favorite part is that I get to live in a big city where I can get to anything in 5 minutes, but I feel like I'm in a small town that's set back in the early 1900s. It's absolutely I would never move anywhere else but where I'm living right now. It's my favorite spot in Frisco.
Well, I love that perspective because, and we've talked about it quite a bit on the show with all the construction going on downtown and the, revitalization. Let's fast forward a year, right? We're getting there, but we're dealing with the pain of the road construction and, the building of the square and the building of the parking lot and all parking garage. So I love that perspective because a lot of people Frisco, it's a very small part of Frisco, but it's a very unique part of Frisco. And it's one of those things that unless you go there, it's hard to imagine experiencing it with the all the other things going on in Frisco. So right. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, it's also really great because my husband and I, when we bought this house in 2016, the people who sold it to us are like kicking their own butt right now. But either way, we have a 6,000 square foot carriage house behind our house on a half acre with an Airbnb that pays our mortgage. So it's like we have the most perfect setup. You can't even dream up the kind of situation. And so, yeah, I'm going to be buried in the front yard. So y'all will just, we're going to have to change the zoning so that I can be buried.
A burial zone. Yeah. Well, you painted a good mental picture of what the future downtown Frisco will be like in a year, right? It's going to be even more walkable. It's going to be park your car if you don't live, if you don't have the benefit of living right in it, you can at least park your car in a garage that's nearby and be able to walk to all those shops and all those restaurants that you mentioned. So I love the vision of, a year down the road. You painted a good mental picture. So we'll just have to hold on to that for the next 9 months to a year.
Yes, please do. It's going to get better. It always does.
For sure. All right. Well, that's awesome. What we're going to do right now is take our first commercial break, and we're going to come out of that, and we're going to talk about what's going on in Frisco. It's our What's Up segment. We have a special guest on today who I'm excited to hear from. So stick around. We'll be right back with What's Up Frisco.
The Community Difference Frisco was made possible by Brian Poduska with Real Property Management Focus, Bethany Rowan with the Beer Rowan Realty Group, Liliana Aranda with Window Hero, Jack Skryder with PBJ Mortgage, Debbie Watson with Abracadoodle, Eric Buchanan with Goosehead Insurance, Nina Singh, college counselor and prep coach, and by Lauren Gill with My Live Love Travel. The Community Difference Frisco. Together, we can make the difference. And now, back to the show.
Are you ready?
Because it's time for What's Up Frisco?
All right, welcome back. This is the segment of the show where we talk about what's going on around town, right? So, Bethany, you were lucky enough, or I guess we're both lucky enough to get Shannon in a moment of need for Frisco Parks and Recs, or moment of, I guess, advertising expansion in their mind, right? So yeah. I happened to run into her on last Friday, and you were connected to Shannon through various different methods, but Henry Hill, I think, is the one who originally.
Yeah, I was talking to Henry last week about, share with me some great things that are going on in the community, something you want to be on the podcast. And he quickly offered up Shannon to share some of the great stuff the Parks and Rec Department is doing. And so, yes, definitely excited to have Shannon join us today on the show to learn more about what's going on in Frisco.
Awesome. Well, let's bring her in and say hello. Hi, Shannon.
Hi, how are you?
Shannon.
Super. Thanks for joining us today on what I'll call short notice, because we originally threw the opportunity out to you guys as you were speaking to our group leadership Frisco group last Friday, and then lo and behold, small world, Bethany circled back, and here we are less than a week later, we got you on the show. So super excited to have you on. Give us the highlights. What's going on around Frisco?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I could probably give you highlights for the next 4 hours, honestly. We have so many amazing things that are going on. So we are the city's Park and Recreation Department, but we're officially called Play Frisco. We partner very nicely with Visit Frisco. So while they're very outwardly focused on bringing visitors in, it's our job to make sure that the community is taken care of. And then when those outside visitors do come in, that they have amazing things to do. So our whole concept behind Play Frisco is really trying to get people engaged, because we know play has so many wonderful benefits. It creates community, it creates connections, it relieves stress. And so when I moved out here in 2017 from Florida, one of the things I recognized is that we were known as Sports City, but I thought, well, what if you don't like sports? And so we reframed ourselves, and we started really focusing on different ways to play. So whether you like to play culturally, artistically, athletically, whatever way it is, we want to provide an opportunity for you. Along those lines, we have everything from our very first bass derby coming up. It's all about the bass, I'd probably like to call it, because we know we have a lot of people who really like to go fishing. We have a NASA exhibit over at our Heritage Museum right now that will be up through June 28th. We actually have Buzz Aldrin's space suit over there. So we'd love to invite people to come over and explore that. We offer all type of exhibits and different things. So if you've not been to the Frisco Discovery Center, which is adjacent to the beautiful library that we have the Art of Worship by Yoon Soo Nam over there as an exhibition right now. And then also this really, if you like animals, I love animals. We have an exhibit over there called Nature and Fibers that will be up until May 31st. And so if you'd like to see a giant otter and some other creative things, please head that way. And I guess on top of that, what I would say is, as much as we're offering programs and events, We do Freedom Fest, we do Merry Main Street. We're also extremely busy building parks and reinvesting in parks and trails to connect the entire city of Frisco. And usually when I'm asked about Play Frisco, what people really want to hear about is Grand Park. So Grand Park, just real briefly, we have 4 key behaviors that really frame this park: play, explore, discover, and connect. And so everything that will come into the park will be framed by those behaviors. It's over 1,000 acres at this point. If you think about that for just a second, it's actually larger than Central Park in New York. So it spans all the way from Lake Louisville, snaking its way through the city. And right now what we're focused on is what we call Grand Park proper. It's bordered by D&T and Legacy, by Cotton Gin and Stonebrook. And so we're meeting every 2 weeks right now. We are under design, and we will break ground on the very first phase of Grand Park, Q1 of next year.
So I can't tell you how excited I am to hear that. And I know it's been a story for a long time, right? It's been in the works for a long, long time. Heck, I've lived here for 13 years now, and I don't live too far away from where the future Grand Park is going to be. It was used as a selling point when I moved here 13 years ago. And I don't say that disparagingly, but it's more from an excitement standpoint. Like, here we are, right? We're breaking ground and we're ready to go. So it's exciting to see it come to fruition.
We're really excited about it. It's actually, I'll be honest, it's a huge reason why I left Florida. I never would have left Florida to come out. I'd never been to North Texas, only to the San Antonio area, which was really interesting. But I didn't expect or understand what Frisco was until I really got here. But one thing that I knew was that if there was a project that people thought might not come to fruition for a long time, that I was the right woman, because I would not give up until we broke ground. So we've been working very, 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 very hard on it, and we're really excited. I do encourage everyone, if you don't follow Play Frisco on social media, please do. We also have, if you'd like to sign up for a newsletter, we have a newsletter called The Trailhead that you can register for. And then, of course, you can either find us by playfrisco.org, or if you just go to the city's website and look for Play Frisco or Parks and Recreation, you'll find information there. And we just recently launched an entire page dedicated to Grand Park.
Awesome. Well, I love it. Like I said, I'm excited personally, and I know the whole city is excited to see it come to fruition. And all the things those renderings are awesome. So looking forward now. So you're breaking ground shortly. When is phase 1 going to be done, and then all the way through phase 4? What are we looking at as far as completion timing? And I know that's a crystal ball question, but what's it look like?
It is. So just for those 320 acres that are in that framed piece that I described. So phase 1A is really called the civic phase. It's the civic park. We'll break ground Q1 of next year, and it'll probably take us about 18 months to finish that first section. It's at the northernmost side near Cotton Gin. Grand Park, if you've ever been to some of the theme parks, I'll say, in the Orlando area, if you're familiar with the type of worlds that they have or experiences that they have, Grand Park will be very similar. And so we have 5 different sections that are outlined. A lot of it depends, quite frankly, on funding. So how are we able to find potential sponsors, founders, donors? Is it in an upcoming bond election? Where are we finding our funding from? I would say one of the really cool things, though, and what's going to create a lot of synergy out there. So not only are we breaking ground and working on the park at the north side, but on the southeast side near D&T and Stonebrook, that's where the city's very first nature center will be coming in. And so those 2 projects will be running concurrently. So we'll have an anchor on the north and an anchor on the south, and then trails from north to south so that we can really start to activate the park. Outside of Grand Park, just real quickly, 2 other projects that we are well underway on that people are also extremely excited about are Northwest Community Park, which is where a lot of our bike trails are located. And then, of course, our 4th Street Plaza, which is right downtown. So we're going to have a really nice area downtown to be able to do some shows. We'll have a beautiful stage down there. And as all of that work is finishing, we'll be able to really activate that area.
I have a question. Did y'all save, as Play Frisco, did y'all save the clock?
The save the clock. Well, so there were a lot. We have the clock. The clock had a lot of challenges, and so what we found is that it was easier for us and cheaper for us, although we kept the old one, to have a new one done. The old one wasn't able to modify its time as it needed to. There were some inner workings that were going to be extremely costly to fix. So we do have it, but we'll be putting up a different version of it. And sorry, and just to add on to that, and the old one we certainly wouldn't throw away. It's actually going to go over to the Heritage Museum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sounds like the city needs to hire a Rolex specialist or something like that to come in and do some work.
I would be all for that. Yes.
Awesome. Well, Shannon, thank you so much for your time today. Like I said before we kicked off the show, you're welcome to stick around if you'd like, but I know you've got a lot of things in your busy day. But feel free to stick around if you'd like. But first and foremost, thanks for your time, and thanks for sharing what's going on around Frisco Parks and Rec.
Thank you for including me, and I will see you at another time.
All right. Sounds awesome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Shannon.
All right. Well, let's go around the horn real quick and talk about what else is going on around Frisco. Brooklyn, let's start with you. What you got?
Well, I'm on the board of a organization called Spirit of a Hero. And on Saturday morning, we have our rally, which is a 7-mile walk. It is not in Frisco, but a lot of our board members are here in Frisco, including myself. It's a 7-mile walk that we do to honor the real reason we celebrate Memorial Day. It's for Carry the Load, and it's free. There's gonna be lots of food, live music, and of course the 7-mile walk. It starts at 8 a.m. It's at Lantana Community Church up in Lantana. And we've got hundreds and hundreds of RSVPs. So it's going to be quite the event. It's going to be really neat.
Very cool. Love it.
When you say up in Lantana, maybe to help the viewers, like where is that? What do you mean by that?
Lantana, Texas. It's about maybe 35 minutes away. Lantana, Argyle, the police department, the SWAT teams, the fire department, all of Carry the Load, a lot of Carry the Load, various veterans organizations. Carry the Load is another veterans organization that we partner with. We're a nonprofit partner, Spirit of a Hero is. And it's something we've been doing. I believe this is our 4th year. And it's just really solemn, and it's about, there's lots of rallies that lead up to the actual Carry the Load walk on Memorial Day weekend down at the Katy Trail. And this is just one of them. It's sanctioned by Carry the Load because we've been doing it for several years. So they recognize it as one of the official rallies. But it's a sight to behold, with all of us walking and just honoring those who have fallen and given their life for our freedom.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that, Brooklyn.
Yes.
All right.
They can RSVP if they would like to walk with us at spiritofahero.org.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. All right, Lennon, I'm going to have you pull up the slides that I'm going to talk through. In the meantime, I want to give a shout out to those that I've seen scroll across the bottom here that are checked in and said hello. Lauren said hello. Who else? We got Mina who said hello, Debbie who said hello. So thank you, ladies, for watching. If you have a question or anything, anybody who's watching live can chime in the comment section, ask it, or if you want to curse at us, we may or may not show that on the screen, but that might be the first time that has ever happened. So anyway, feel free to do that if you're watching live.
If they're cursing at you, I'll show it.
Well, I would expect I'm the only one who's getting cursed at. I'm usually the only one who deserves it. So, all right, real quick, I wanted to put a bow around this event that we had last week. So you see, it was May 2nd. It was last Friday, or a couple of Fridays ago now. But I just wanted to give a big thank you to all those who came out to participate in it, to donate to the cause. The Frisco Education Foundation was the beneficiary of this dodgeball event that we had on May 2nd. And the great news that I wanted to share with everyone is that we raised just over our goal, which was $25,000 net of all the costs of the event. So net, we are donating. Yes, there it is. We are donating, I think tonight, as a matter of fact, the $25,000 and change to the Frisco Education Foundation. So huge thank you to everybody who came out, everybody who participated, everybody who sponsored, everybody who volunteered. Couldn't have done it without you. So just wanted to air that and say thank you.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
All right, this one's going on tonight, folks. This is the free event held by Melody of Hope, or hosted by Melody of Hope. It's right there in downtown Frisco at the rail yard by all the food trucks. So come on out. They've got a live stage out there. You can see all the different musicians playing. David Tribble Band, Brian Mayberry, Tyler Hook, Haven, and Ariana Ortiz and Mark LaFon. So come on out, see those guys, eat some food, drink some beverages, and have a good time tonight at the Frisco Rail Yard. Also going on Thursday evening, so this is every Thursday at Kaleidoscope Park. I'm going to go through a few events that happen at Kaleidoscope Park. So live after 5, this is live music on Thursday nights. You can see May 15th, we've got Selena Wilson playing. So come on out to any Thursday night at Kaleidoscope Park for some live music, free of charge, of course. Also happening at Kaleidoscope Park every Saturday morning from 10 to noon, there is kids activities at Kaleidoscope Park. So there's various different activities every week. So come on out with your kiddos. And while you're doing that, you can do the next event, I believe it is. Well, yes, there's the Rotary hosts a farmer's market from 9 to 1. So your kiddos can participate in the activities. You go check out the Rotary Farmers Market, also happening at Kaleidoscope Park every Saturday. And the next one is also something that goes on at Kaleidoscope Park on Saturday mornings. It's free fitness classes. So let's see, what do we have this week? Is it Bar and Bubbles? So yeah, go on out there. You've got some free fitness classes going on. It's all sponsored by Baylor Scott and White Health every Saturday morning at Kaleidoscope.
You get to exercise and drink champagne. Is that what Bar and Bubbles is?
That's a good question. I think you're going to have to go to check it out, Lennon, because I know you like champagne and I know you love Pilates and you're good at it. So head on out there and check it out.
No, I'll leave the Pilates to somebody else.
That's a good thing. All right. One more thing. So this is a one-time 2-day event going on at Kaleidoscope Park. So it is the 17th and 18th. Come on out for this. You can see all the sponsors there. I forgot the timing on this one. We didn't get the full picture in here, but this is a free event that's going on. It's an art specific. So Art and Soul Festival is what it's called. And it's going on Saturday and Sunday. I believe, Bethany, you might have heard it on Tuesday. This is what Reggie was participating in.
Yes. Yeah. Reggie was talking about that, having some of her art out there, and invited us all to come out there on Saturday or Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. So if you want to see Reggie Wojcicki, she's going to be out there with her art.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got next on our agenda here? Okay. So this is every Friday night at the PGA district up there at PGA Frisco. It's a free movie night. You can come on out, bring your blanket. If you have your pet, make sure they're on a leash. But free movie, of course, weather permitting. It might be a little warm tonight, but by the time the sun goes down, it should be good. So go on out there with your kiddos every Friday night. This happens up at Frisco, PGA Frisco. And then don't forget, Chunk Your Junk is this Saturday, May 17th, from 8 to 1. If you're doing some spring cleaning and have some of those hazardous materials or large items, electronics, things like that, this is your time to get rid of those. So go on up to the Environmental Collection Center, 8 a.m. to 1 on Saturday. All you need is your utility bill or driver's license showing that you live in Frisco, and you'll be able to do that. And then, of course, we've had many of these candidates on, all 4 of the ones that are going to be running for the runoff election. So places 2 and 4, nobody had a 50% majority. So that means we go to a runoff with the top 2 candidates. Place 2 has Tammy Minershagen and Bert Thacker. Place 4 is Jared Alad and Gopal. So make sure you're registered to vote. That time has already passed. It was May 8th, but early voting starts May 23rd, I believe it is. It is the following Tuesday. No, May 27th. Sorry about that. So make sure you're registered. You can vote early May 27th. The actual election in person is on June 7th. It's a Saturday. I'm going to tease this out because it's something in the works right now, but the Difference podcast, Community Difference podcast, is going to try to put together a little candidate forum and have all 4 of them on at the same time, so you can learn about those candidates if you don't already know about them. We will be talking about some of the hot issues out there, what their platforms are, what they stand for. So more to come on that, but we do want you to get out there and vote. Educate yourselves before you do. Don't just go with the lines that are put out there. Make sure you dig into those candidates and understand what their background is, what they've done for the city so far, and what they believe in, the city going forward. So wanted to mention that. Also wanted to give a little shout out to those who graduated from City Hall 101. This is a program that the City Hall puts on twice a year. The next registration opens July 1st. It's going to run through the fall. So shout out to those that graduated. And also, if you're interested in learning more about how the city works and how City Hall and city governance works, check this program out. It's a 12-week program. It's a pretty awesome program. So go ahead and sign yourself up. Registration starts after July 1st. Is that it for me?
That's it, except for this.
Nope.
Okay. Well, last but not least, our Business Development Alliance, so BDA as we call it. The next one is going to be the 4th Wednesday in May, which is
28th.
The 28th. Thank you. So this is going to be at the NAC Theater. We are inviting and have invited and got confirmations from at least 4, maybe 5 now, local CEOs of chambers of commerce. So we've got the Frisco Chamber of Commerce that's going to be there. We've got the city of Allen who's committed. We've got the city of Wiley. We're right on the verge of getting Plano. Who am I missing? Is McKinney in as well?
I think we have somebody from McKinney, yes.
Okay, so essentially 5 of the largest chambers of commerce right here in North Texas coming to speak on a panel. We want to learn more about what they have to offer, what they can offer to small businesses, and then have, the small businesses be able to ask questions about what the chamber membership brings to them. So more of an education session, an opportunity to meet those leaders of those chambers and meet us. Come on out, do some networking, have a little bit of lunch right there at the NAC Theater, downtown Frisco, Wednesday the 28th, so 2 Wednesdays from now. Come on out. Oh, thank you, Lauren. We have Salina signed up as well. Appreciate that. So we've got at least 5, probably 6 CEOs of local chambers coming out to learn more at the NAC.
And Brian, let me just say something about that real quick, because, a lot of people go and commit to networking groups that really they don't get anything out of. They just go for the aspect of, okay, I'm going to go meet people, I'm going to collect cards, and then I'm going to move on. And that's not really the intent of the events that we put on. We are really looking to build relationships and connect with people at a higher level, and add an educational point to it as well. And so why not come to a meeting where you can actually really connect with people that are small business owners just like you, and then ask the people that lead the community that you live in how the chamber can actually help you, because there are ways that the chamber can help you, and you may not have thought about it before, or you may have thought, oh my gosh, the chamber's like in Frisco is like really, really big and a lot of people go. And so I'm going to be this little bitty fish in this, big, big pond. And you'll find out that that's not really the case. And so, take the opportunity to come out and hang out with us on that day. We're going to be ordering lunch from Jason's Deli, I believe, through an app. And so we'd love to have you come.
Well, love that ad. Thank you for doing that, because notice we don't call it a networking event. It's called the Business Development Alliance. And it's called that for a reason, is because we're there to develop business, right? We're there to make the connections that'll take everybody to the next level. So love that ad. And I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be a fun event. Brooklyn, you're on mute.
Somebody. Okay. Did you unmute me?
Yes.
Okay, great. We were talking about the businesses downtown and how affected they are by all of the, construction. I know for a fact that Lottie Birds and Dee Dee's both have been catering different community things, and they will work with you. So if y'all ever want to support one of the businesses on Main Street that are actually struggling, I highly recommend them for lunch. Not knocking Jason's Deli. I had that last week.
No, you're right about that. Brian and I were actually with our group a couple of weeks ago at Dee Dee's, and we talked to him about sponsoring some events for us. So that might be something that would be good for us to reach out to. Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Everybody else who's listening, go eat at Haystack or Dee Dee's or Heritage Table or La Finca Coffee. Go support them so that they can struggle through all of this over there.
Right.
Well, 1,000%. And that's, part of why we're doing it at NAC Theater for that exact reason, right? Is that we're trying to get more and more awareness to downtown and help them through this period of time that we'll call it the Renaissance, because it's coming. We just got to get through the next, 9 months to a year to really get there.
Amen.
So awesome. Well, I think that puts a bow on what's going on in Frisco. We are luckily we only have one guest today, so we're behind schedule, but we're really not. So we'll make up some time. What we're going to do is take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to talk about the business topic on the backside of that, which is the secrets to creating content that gets results. So stick around. We'll be right back.
The Community Difference would like to thank each of the following partners for their continued support. At Fireboss Realty, we believe life is about relationships, and everything else is just details. Whether you're buying or selling, Scott and Amy Johnson are here to understand your family's unique needs and deliver expert guidance on the North Texas real estate market. With a reputation for integrity and personalized service, Fireboss Realty makes your home journey stress-free and successful. Ready to make your move? Visit firebossrealty.com and let's ignite your real estate dreams.
Everyone deserves access to affordable health insurance, but with traditional insurance, costs can be high and getting coverage can be complicated. JP Direct Health is a simpler, more affordable way to get the health coverage you need. With plans for individuals, families, and small businesses, you can save money on monthly premiums without the need for physicals. At jpdirecthealth.com, we specialize in customizing coverage to fit almost every budget with affordable PPO plans and many other benefits. With over 100 5-star Google reviews, JP Direct Health is a trusted resource making health insurance affordable and accessible for everyone year-round. Affordable health insurance solutions are a proactive protection, not a reactive solution. Visit jpdirecthealth.com today and see how much you can save.
I'm always here to help. Thank you.
Total Care Emergency Room now has 9 locations in the DFW Metroplex. With no appointment needed, our incredible staff will get you checked in with no wait times. Our 5-star facility is open and fully staffed 24/7. We offer extensive treatment options for patients of all ages, providing on-site labs and imaging equipment, including CT, X-ray, and ultrasound, allowing us to provide fast, convenient care for our community. Total Care ER is your neighborhood emergency room. TotalCare.us.
Unwanted pests in your home can be stressful. From creepy crawlies to critters under the floorboards, they disrupt your peace of mind. But don't worry. All Pest Solutions is here to help. We offer a comprehensive range of safe and effective pest control solutions. We target all types of pests, big or small, including insects, rodents, and wildlife. All Pest Solutions, your local experts for a pest-free home. Breathe easy and enjoy your life again. Call today for a free quote. 972-442-1169 or email us at customerservice@allpestsolutions.com.
To belong is one of our most basic human needs. Best Buddies International is the world's largest organization dedicated to ending the social isolation of 200 million individuals who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. We focus on meaningful one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, leadership development, and inclusive living. You have the power to make an impact, create change, and champion our mission of inclusion today.
Now back to the show.
All right, welcome back. And we are going to talk about our business topic of May for the next, 15, 20 minutes, something like that. And the topic is the secrets to creating content that gets results. This is a good one because it dives into that C word, that content word, right? And really posting isn't the problem because everybody's doing it. The problem is most of it doesn't work. So if your content isn't creating conversations, building trust, or generating new business, you're just adding noise. So what we're going to talk about today, we're going to pull back the curtain a little bit on content myths, revealing exactly what separates posts that matter and posts that gets ignored. So with that kind of as the intro and really diving into the key word in this topic, right, is content. If you're creating content that is about you versus what is about the audience, right? So not necessarily what you want to say, but what your audience needs to hear. If you don't differentiate that, it's probably going to fall flat, right? So Brooklyn, I'm going to direct the first question towards you. And that is, I kind of alluded to it. There's a lot of content out there, but a lot of it just falls flat, or a lot of it isn't relevant, or a lot of it just gets scrolled right by, which is a waste of the content creator's time and, more importantly, of the consumer's time. So question for you, why do you think that is, right? Why do so many professionals or just content creators create content that falls flat?
Because we live in a society that's quick fix. They don't want to do the work that it takes to create content that converts. They want to go to bed at night and say, okay, well, I got to post something. Okay, I'll just share this. There, I'm done. And there's no intent. There's no purpose. They're not trying to make a difference. They're trying to make $1. And honest to God, it's just slinging spaghetti. It's absolutely a waste of time to do that. You said something, content that matters versus content that gets ignored. And it's not so much about whether it's about me, or them. It's more about the volume of information that you're putting in each post. So if you can break it down into tiny topics, then you are making it about your audience, because your audience is on a scale of 1 to 10, they're like a 2. In your real estate world or whatever. And if you word vomit on them and you give them everything to a 10, then you're not meeting them where they're at. And you sound desperate. People can smell desperation on your breath. And so there are enough squares to go around. There's an infinite number of them. I always tell my clients. And if you have me, then I can help you fill up those squares. But every square doesn't have to say everything that you do. You need to walk them through it in campaigns. I call it EIEIO: educate, inform, entertain, inspire, and offer. So if you're educating, inspiring, entertaining, informing, and offering, you're earning the right to sell in that fifth one. And people don't multiply their content like that.
I love that. So I didn't mean to interrupt you, but so those 5 things, and I like that little acronym EIEIO. Those 5 things are all what? Those are all needs that the consumer has, right? And that's, I think, the key point here is that you're catering your content to somebody's needs, whether it be entertainment, information, education. The key there, I think, is that it's customer focused or consumer focused, right?
It's breaking your content down in a way that the customer can consume it, and how you say it and deliver it is all about what your intent is behind the post. So let's say an entertaining post, I can do a time lapse of me taking notes on this and time lapse this whole thing. I'm not trying to educate them with that. I'm just trying to engage their eyeballs and entertain them, right? So it's a connection post. All it is getting them to linger longer, watch a little bit longer, so that the next post that I make performs better. It reaches further because more people watch the video before it. So there's a strategy behind everything that you post, but those 5 that I just said allows you to talk about this Sharpie in 5 different ways. I can entertain with it by actually drawing with it or whatever and doing a time lapse. I can educate, this is non-toxic or whatever, I can inform, it's, this long, it's, this wide, it's bright yellow, it shows up against most things. And then I can offer it to you and say, buy my crap. It's called the buy my crap, right? So you walk them through, you talk about this highlighter 5 times, and EIEIO is your campaign, but you're earning your right to sell. The natural next step is to post the offer. I've told you all these different things about it, how great it is in all these different ways. Now you're giving your audience the chance to support you. But of course, this is not riveting or interesting. But let's talk about Grand Park, EIO that all day long. You could,
yeah, exactly. But don't you think too, when you're going into the planning aspects of what you want to do, you want to have that avatar of who it is you are trying to really talk to and connect with, so that you're focused on what it is you want to do in using the EIO method?
Yes, that's so good. So that's part of that work that people don't want to do. They're like, well, I could talk to anybody above ground and breathing. If you have a wallet, you can buy a house, or
Sure.
whatever it is. But you're right. You have to pick. People think by niching down to a certain audience, they are ostracizing all of these people, but that's not how it works. The way when you niche down, when you're talking to a singular person in your posts, you can use language like you're talking to that person in real life. So Bethany or Brian or myself, I can think of one of my favorite clients. All of us have them. And we all strive. I heard this at lunch today at Dee Dee's. If I had 5 more of her, I'd be set for life.
Right.
Well, think about that one client that you have. That is your ideal customer avatar. And often you'll find that your ideal customer avatar or your audience that you want is you, because that's who you connect to. Especially if you're driving around looking at houses on a Saturday or listing their house, their needs, their wants, their likes, because you're there with them. You're in that stage of life. I literally think about my one client that's my favorite as of right now. I've got a lot of them, but let's say that one. And I will describe him or her in chat in detail. I'll talk about stories. And if I feel like I don't want to chat, type with my hands, I will talk into chat and I'll tell stories to it. And they will build my avatar or chat. It's a person, it's a whatever, chat will build my customer avatar so that every time I go to chat to write something, it's speaking to that person. But it's very,
that's pretty awesome. And so that's the first time I've heard that, really creating your avatar within an AI framework. So you can then, bounce ideas off it and cater material to it. Lennon, I'm sure, can appreciate that, because our producer, right? He's all about the taking advantage of the AI and making it do a lot of the heavy lifting. So that's an awesome ad. I love that. I also
the other awesome part about that is, unlike us, where we forget things that we say and do, chat does not forget. So it starts to remember who you are as a person and what you have created, where it can create the kind of language that you would talk using. It doesn't forget that my past career was an educator, but now I'm in real estate. And so it still invokes that message into the things I'm asking it to help me do, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
Well, and so that's a good kind of balance here, because I want to ask the next question about the messaging, right? And it comes. I heard you say it in what you were talking about before, Brooklyn, and that's authenticity. So how do you maintain that authenticity when it comes to utilizing AI and messaging in general, right? So how does that authenticity get maintained, and then why is it important?
Well, my motto is the most human company wins. So I don't use chat to script out reels for me. I use chat to give me a list of things that, I might have forgotten to say that had it not told me to say that. So I will consult chat for an idea, some ideas if I'm kicking around a focus. So the whole EIO thing, and I'll try to answer this quickly, but you have to have a focus. So your focus has to be a product, a service, or an event. A lot of realtors, I'm Trek certified, so I teach at a lot of real estate offices. And I always tell them, yours isn't a product, a service, or event. Yours might be an audience or a neighborhood. It might actually be a house, which is a product technically.
Mm-hmm.
But like, let's say, I always use the rail district as an example. If that's your neighborhood, you can EIO it. But if you're just EIOing real estate in general, you're going to be a tiny fish in a big giant pond. But I want my clients to be a shark in a sea full of minnows. I want you to be the biggest fish because you need to stand out by being a human. And so back to the Chat GPT, I use it for ideas, but all of my content, I highly recommend all of your content. Stop having it on camera on your phone, toggle over to video, and just this right here, this screen, this scene right here of highlighters and notes, instead of taking a picture of it, it's much more riveting to do a little 3-second. That's it. And then I can tell the story of my day later on. Don't worry about what you're going to do with the content. Worry about what you're going to do with it later, and then string your days together, or do it over coffee the next morning and recap your day before, or whatever it is that you're doing, from work to showing clients to hosting a podcast. Let people behind the scenes, let them see you. You are the superpower. And so many people are all business on social media because the camera comes on. They're like, oh my gosh, I got to be a robot. That is the problem. If there is no you to pick, then what sets you apart from the other people that do what you do? So if I'm seeing photography, she's a photographer, and all fall. It's all happy families in brown with some leaves and a kid screaming, and they all have the same darn picture. What's going to make me choose one or the other? Because as I think they all look good. I don't know that. It's going to be the person. It's going to be the story. It's where my money is going. I want to give my money to someone that matters. And if I have a connection, oh my gosh, my kid plays baseball. I love her. Okay, I'm going to go with this one, this column number 1, just because she revealed the person behind the business. So getting personal on your business page is imperative to moving the followers into the friend column and winning that relationship. You talked about the difference in y'all's organization and networking, and it's about the relationships. And I genuinely have relationships with people I've never met before online. They're like, oh, Brooklyn. I love it. And my clients do too, because we're humans.
Yeah, absolutely. And taking it back to the creator themselves, right? Because you said a lot of people get on camera and as soon as they see it, they're like, and I'm guilty of that myself, because it's like, what do I say? I want to act normal. So
act normal.
Act normal. What is normal? What is normal? Anyway, what kind of mindset shift do people have to make to be able to create content that people really want to watch?
Okay. Well, they have to, I don't mean to be offensive, but they have to stop saying that, because I'll tell you what, I don't know where it is, but I have this little piece of paper I just colored the other day. It was like a little life coaching thing. Who wants to see me coloring a life coaching chart? But I put it up. It's one of my most popular posts this week. Doing the dishes, setting the phone up in my kitchen while I do the dishes, and just like talking to it, and people will watch. They want to see real life. They want to feel normal. What is normal? Well, if you let people see what you do behind the closed doors, what happens in that house? What are they doing? How do they talk to each other? Where's that big dog going? Because we have a Great Dane here right now. So just letting people see your normal everyday life. It doesn't have to be riveting. Everybody tries to wait until this big, special, glorious moment where something crazy happens, but that's not real life. Yeah. People just want to get to know you and feel like, here's what I say. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm long-winded, but here's what I say. You want people to say, if she was my next door neighbor, we would be best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And treat the social media, the social media, treat it like messy house friends. Don't worry about perfection. And I will say this, I just taught a class this week. Perfection does not exist. You have to set up your environment for a frictionless filming experience. What I mean by that is get yourself a couple of refurbished iPhones, or just one. Just get one. It's like $100 on Amazon. Get a refurbished iPhone. Don't connect it to anything but the internet. Set it up somewhere where there's good lighting. So anytime you've got something to say, you have no barriers to say, oh, well, I don't, you don't have to say anything because it's set up. Set your Atomic Habits. Go read that book. Yeah. Set your environment up for success. And it doesn't have to be, I'm missing plates. Every time I come in here, one of these things have fallen off. But I don't care. It's fine. It's real life. I didn't have time, and you won't either. So don't have any excuses. Your life is riveting just as it is.
It's probably why reality TV shows are so popular. And
hello, yes, they're sitting around doing their makeup. It's not fun.
Exactly.
Well, that's a good one. That's a good one, because there's a point in life where maybe oversharing or maybe too much vulnerability becomes a potential issue. So have you ever encountered that, Brooklyn or Bethany? I'll throw it out to you too. Have you ever encountered that where you're like, whoa, dude or lady, that's a little TMI right there, and then it becomes a negative? So any examples of that you've run into, or where do you guys draw the line, that sort of thing?
Well, what I have found is when I'm doing a social media audit, most people are missing some of the EIEIO, but also either they're all business or they're all personal and nobody knows what the hell they're doing. Like, but what do you do for a living? I know your kid plays baseball, but what do you do? So there is a balance from that. I've never seen anybody be super obnoxious with that, but there's something called the Jenna Kutcher 5. And it's basically choosing 5 things personal that you're willing to share online. I really only use this with my clients that are like, I don't want to be personal online. Well, sorry, you got to be. Just pick 5 and try to pick at least one thing that's a little vulnerable. And I will tell a story. This girl, Jenna Kutcher, y'all can all follow her. She had like 7,000 followers when I first started following her. She has over 1 million now. Wow. She started with infertility issues, yoga pants. She loves yoga pants, mac and cheese recipes. Her hot husband, he had like washboard abs, and then her body image, because she was voluptuous and curvy. And so she kind of had issues because she was having infertility, but she shared this. And this journey of hers, now she has 2 kids, they're doing great. Her community solidified around her. And because she was talking about this, she became known as the person that championed this infertility cause. And I'm not saying that everybody has to do that, but we have vulnerable things in our life. All of us do, that have touched us, that are pain points. And, we are supposed to share our wisdom and not be, we're supposed to be a community. And so you build a community around that. And if your story can help somebody else, then you're making a difference. The dollars will come. Instagram will pay you per view. And you didn't even try to make money. But if you will get vulnerable and be a real person, the most human company wins, then you will find. And if you stick to 5 things, then you're not confusing the algorithm. Because she stuck to those 2 things, the algorithm knew who to show her to. Oh, she talks about this. This person's looking for that and is struggling with it too. Let me show her over here. It's about training Instagram, teaching Instagram like a 13-year-old boy that can't find the freaking dish towel. You got to tell them where to put you.
I like it.
That's
I like
great.
that analogy too. 13-year-old boy. It's a lot of teaching has to go on there.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, well, I've been there, and some say I haven't gone much past that, but that's all good.
You're still learning.
That's right. Well, that's some awesome stuff, Brooklyn. I appreciate you sharing the perspectives, and we now have a new EIEIO, a new acronym, which is pretty awesome, and it's now stuck in my head. Like I feel like I need to EIEIO, like I need to sing it.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Well,
Brian,
that's awesome.
If you can say EIEIO, you can market like a pro. There you go.
Wow, there we go. We've got taglines flying. Good stuff. Love it. Awesome. Well, I tell you what, we'll take our final commercial break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to put the spotlight on Brooklyn and find out, what makes her tick, what craziness got in her that she's, involved in multiple different businesses and is the queen of downtown Frisco. So stick around for that final commercial break right now. See you soon.
At the Community Difference Business Development Alliance, powered by the Difference Media LLC, our mission is to empower small business owners by transcending acceptable behaviors and outcomes into exceptional realms. We foster a culture of self-awareness, accountability, and proactive engagement, guiding individuals to recognize and overcome indifference towards transformative actions, habits, behaviors, and processes driving meaningful change. Through strategic networking, impactful content creation, and innovative top-of-mind strategies, we cultivate brand relevance and differentiation, enabling our partners and the Difference community to stand out in crowded markets. With a focus on building authentic connections, amplifying brand presence, and driving sustainable growth, we equip entrepreneurs with the tools and mindset to navigate the complexities of entrepreneurship with confidence, innovation, and resilience. Together, we aim to be the catalyst for difference makers, propelling them towards their highest potential and leaving a lasting impact on their businesses and communities. That's where our community podcasts come in. These podcasts lie directly at the intersection of innovative business development and community involvement, helping to bridge the gap between small business obscurity often seen in our communities. The community-based podcasts called the Community Difference Series are an integral part of integrating all facets of modern business development into a package of great content, positive impact branding, and top-of-mind presence, thus fulfilling the greater mission we set forth. When we set out to be difference makers, we can learn to make a difference and find the success and impact innately desired by all business owners and entrepreneurs. We are difference makers.
And now, back to the show.
Welcome back, difference makers. We are difference makers, as the commercial says. So we're in our final segment here. Brooklyn, we're going to learn more about Brooklyn, right? What makes you tick? What inspired you to start Next Chapter Social? And tell us too about the other things that you multiple businesses that you have. So let's start there. Go for it.
Okay. Wow. All right, Bethany, I'm going to try real hard to get to this quickly. I quit my job as a school teacher in Frisco ISD down here in downtown at Staley in 2013. I didn't know what I was going to do. But I started painting furniture in my garage of all things because that kept me home. And I quickly realized that I didn't want to work that hard. That was very sweaty. And so I started teaching other people how to paint their own furniture. And I taught them everything they needed to know, and then they never came back again. So I was like, all right, I'm doing something wrong, but I'm doing it all right. So I don't understand. But I had to get really good at marketing myself on Facebook to a whole new crowd every single month so that I could keep myself from schlepping furniture and just teach people how to do their own. Well, after a little bit, I created a workshop kit that I called Build a Bunting. It's a wooden workshop kit. It was words strung together on a rope that said like freedom and spooky and all that. And I had my first repeat customer. I was like, okay, this is pretty good. So I had a workshop, sold it out, had another workshop, sold it out, made another one for the next month. And all those people came back and I'm like, wow. Well, social media happened. I put it on Instagram, and on the same night, this lady from Portland, Oregon, and a lady from New Jersey messaged me separate and said, I see that you're teaching these furniture painting workshops on these kits. Do you mind if you tell me where you're getting your kits? And I'm like, I'm not going to tell you. That's what my first instinct was. This is mine. That's my secret. But I woke up in the next morning and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my chance. So I sent them. I said, yeah, we are the inventor of wooden workshop kits. I sell them in packs of 6 and I give you the 7th for free. How many do you want? Well, that month I became a 100,000-aire selling workshop kits to paint retailers all over the country. And my husband was like, oh my gosh, here, let me help you. So we were making kits. This whole garage was wooden workshop kits. And about 3 months into it, the women started saying, well, I bought Spooky and it's Christmas now. What am I going to do with this? Nobody came to my workshop. So I spent a year on the phone talking these women into marketing themselves online. And I didn't know it, but Brendan Burchard, I don't know if you know who he is, but he calls it building reps. I was deeply understanding my audience, their problems, their pain points, their issues, their needs, their clients. I didn't know that at the time. I was just an English teacher that started whittling wooden workshop kits and stumbled upon something. So I was like, I'll be damned if I'm losing all this money. You're buying my kit again. I'm going to show you how to market yourself. Well, I was exhausted. And I couldn't eat my phone calls, and I eat what I kill. I'm an entrepreneur like all of the people watching. So anyways, I thought I need to write a class so I can just send it to them. So I learned how to make my first e-course, and that was in 2015. And then 2016 came, and I thought, well, I need to be the Martha Stewart of the craft world. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to break a Guinness World Record for the world's largest workshop. How easy, how hard could this be? So I did, and nobody was asking me about my stupid Guinness World Record. They were asking me how I built a business that had so many clients. They're like, how did you do that? So then those people were local, and they were all like, can I pick your brain? Can I take you to coffee? I had a lot of Summer Moon coffee that year. And I was like, all right. So my kids can't eat the coffee I'm drinking at 3:00 in the afternoon either. So I started charging them by the hour. And that just started boom. I started getting requests to come speak here and there and teach this and come help my direct marketing team and go out, all these things. So that's how I got good at teaching people social media. So I came full circle. I left the classroom, quit teaching, and I am a teacher now. I teach all over the place and write a crap ton of e-courses. So anyways, oh, and you asked the question, I didn't answer it, but Angelin and I met at a networking event, and she said she liked email marketing. And I was like, I do not like email marketing. And she said, and I do social media for other people. I'm like, oh, I don't like doing that either. But everybody asks me to do those things. So I need to partner with you. So we built a business together 3 years ago. But Brooklyns Bungalow, the business prior to, had been going along as a crafty business, then switched to social media. So in 2022, no, the end of 2021, that's when we met and we formed this business. But I've been doing it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and is this business related to the events that you had put on? I think you had a pretty large following. Like, what was it, bingo or
bingo?
Yes. Nailed it.
Nailed it. So okay, yep.
I wondered if you were going to speak on that, or you're just skipping right over that part.
Well, I was trying to make it quick, but I have a knack for stumbling upon very profitable businesses, and I
oh darn,
I know,
yeah,
right?
I know. I love building businesses, but either way, so the whole social media thing, and I wrote my first e-course. I never became another 100,000-aire in a month from workshop kits again. That never happened, sad face. But I did on my very first class. So I had all these people download it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't trade any time for money on that. So I'm a big fan, a proponent of working as little as possible. So anyways, but when we moved to my dream house, the one I talked about at the beginning of this podcast, I made a giant wall word for the wall in my dining room. It was an 8-foot word that said gather. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and make 2 more, sell those to pay for the materials that made mine. And I put it up on Frisco Area Business Mom. Shout out to them. They have helped me in my business tremendously. I put that gather on there, and I sold 43 of them in like 3 minutes. And I had to buy an 8-foot trailer because I had to start hauling those. And so from that year, COVID, when COVID happened in 2020, I had, long story short, I had a venue in downtown Frisco. My housewarming party of this 120-year-old house, not this one, another one, was a bingo party. And those 35 women that came to it said, "Are you going to do this again?" And I was like, "Well, I guess I could, but this was just a one-hit wonder, but we'll do it again next week." So we did it again and again. And I was like, I'm becoming the bingo lady. Well, that little bingo thing turned into shutting down Dee Dee's twice a month with 125 women both times. And I would go on the Monday of bingo week every other week and spend $2,600, 21 or $2,600 at all the businesses in downtown Frisco. And we had 6 prizes. And I would run a bingo night once every 2 weeks at Dee Dee's. And it was unbelievable. And then when COVID happened, I had a sold out bingo coming up. And I'm like, I'm not refunding everyone. I already bought all the prizes. So we couldn't do it at Dee Dee's. So I figured out how to make virtual bingo cards, do mail merge with Google, and send out 100. And I think it ended up being 75 people, individual bingo cards. I set up this studio. There's a green screen over here and everything. And I would call bingo from my house. And we still had bingo nights all through COVID. And then I started to do them for corporations all over the country. And it was absolutely amazing. It was the best time of my life. So I was the bingo lady for a little bit. Yeah.
I like that.
Awesome. Well, a woman of many labels, the bingo lady being one of them.
I told you she has a story for sure.
All right. So 2 quick questions because we're going to be out of time here shortly. But what's your favorite thing to do in Frisco?
My favorite thing to do in Frisco is probably bike ride or walk at Commons Park.
Okay. Love it.
I like the trails there. It's peaceful. It's nice. I feel like I've done something. It's right behind my house. It's in my bubble. I like going to La Finca for coffee too. That's really nice. But I pretty much just work all the time. I'm a workaholic. Or baseball. Go to baseball games.
Yeah.
Because you also have an amazing son.
He's trying out right now.
He is.
He's warming up to pitch right now.
Tell the listeners about that.
Yes. Oh, our oldest was drafted 2nd overall to the Pioneer League a couple of weeks ago. And he is at the Yuba Setter High Wheelers spring training right now. And today is his day to pitch for spring training. And there are 44 kids or guys, men. They're men. He's 24. And they're only keeping 25. So as soon as I get off of this, I'm going to try to find some sort of online feed to watch him.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, that's awesome. Congrats to him and good luck today. Sounds like a big day.
Yes. A huge
Awesome.
day.
Very cool. All right. Well, we are up against the clock here. It's amazing how quickly an hour and 15 minutes flies by. One thing we like to ask our guests is a couple things. I'm going to let you remind people who you are, what you do, number one. And then the question to you is, what was your key takeaway from being on the show today?
Okay. Well, my key takeaway from being on the show is, wow, I am blown away by the whole production of this and everything. I look like an architect when they go into a restaurant. They're not looking at the menu, they're looking at the rafters. I'm seeing how well oiled this is and how I know what work goes into this to make it like it is. And I just applaud you because you got a lot of great content, and I can't wait to go see and listen to, this 67 that I haven't listened to yet. But I'm really, really impressed by this. This is amazing. I love this, and I will come back every day and twice on Sunday if you'll have me. I'm Brooklyn Calloway. I'm co-owner of Next Chapter Social and co-owner of Chibo Kitchens in downtown Frisco. And you can get a hold of me at nextchaptersocial.com.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you for those kind words. We've developed this over 5 years period of time, and we've evolved. If you go check out some of our first episodes a long time ago, you'll see how far we've come. But it's been an awesome journey. We get to meet awesome people like you and able to put the spotlight and drive some awareness to your business and just who you are, right? So thank you for sharing who you are today, Brooklyn. It was good to see you again. Bethany, thank you for being my dynamic duo today.
Absolutely.
You will be back with your true dynamic duo next month, but thank you for being on today. I guess we're at the end of the show. Enjoy your weekend this weekend. It's now 100 degrees in Texas. Here we are. That happens quickly. But again, ladies, thank you for your time today, and we will see you all next week. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching today's show.
The Community Difference Frisco was made possible by Brian Poduska with Real Property Management Focus, Bethany Rowan with the Rowan Realty Group, Liliana Aranda with Window Hero, Jax Kreider with PBJ Mortgage, Debbie Watson with Abracadoodle, Eric Buchanan with Goosehead Insurance, Meena Singh, college counselor and prep coach, and by Lauren Gill with My Lid Love Travel. The Community Difference Frisco. Together, we can make the difference.